公民总主笔。
Welcome to Residence Messenger program on the Taipei Broadcasting Station with host Ross Darrell Feingold. Today, our guest is Perry Chang from Ginspiration. Perry, welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Ross.
No problem. Ginspiration is one of the more popular gin bars, and Perry is one of Taipei's more how should I say it, accomplished, successful, popular gin bartenders, gin experts, and not just an inspiration, but a ginspiration for the industry in Taipei. But before we get to your current projects and ginspiration, Perry, tell us a little bit about yourself, because nobody grows up wanting to be a bartender unless they're drinking from a young age, which is a good chance to remind our audience that if you're under 18, you shouldn't drink, and if you're drinking, don't drive. So we got that out of the way. But when you were a child, surely you didn't want to be a bartender.
Basically, I haven't think about that I will be a bartender one day. Yeah, never. Didn't think about it. It is totally an accident, I think.
But did you have opportunity to do anything related to the food and beverage industry growing up? Is this an area that you were interested in for a long time before you actually started to join the industry?
I know it sounds weird because during my childhood, I won't cook for my mom. I won't cook the breakfast, and I won't go to a popular restaurant. I won't follow the foodie, what they are eating, what they are drinking. Basically, I don't think I'm a foodie, and I like the flavor in my young age.
Mm-hmm. So you didn't know much about alcohol or cocktails growing up, or when you were going through school. It wasn't an area that you had begun to study. So how did you wind up in the cocktail industry?
I know it really sounds weird because even I'm 18-year-old. At that age, I think many young boys, they will, yes, I finally can drink.
Sure, it's the first thing you do on your 18th birthday is you buy a beer, right?
No, but the first time I tried the beer and like the whiskey, I drink it, I sip it, disgusting.
You didn't like the taste?
I don't like the taste. Quite bitter and quite strong and harsh. So I don't like the taste at all. So at that time, I will try to find a good reason because of the health problem. So I try to avoid drinking beer and alcohol with my friend. That was a good excuse.
So how does someone actually begin to study mixing drinks? Did you go to school? Did you study with some senior famous experts?
I think the point I start contact with the cocktail is in a bookstore. At that time,
well, most people go to bookstores because they're bored, or they're waiting for a friend, and they go in the bookstore to pass a few hours. Or I know some guys go to the bookstore to try and meet girls. Why were you looking at cocktail books?
then you are right, because I'm so boring at the time. That would be the age around like 25 or 26. Mm-hmm. I start thinking seriously what kind of occupation would be my whole career. Yeah, so at that time I still have no idea. Like most of the people, they don't really know what they want, and they don't want to.
Yeah, I'm in my 40s. I still don't know. So
I'm not using. Yeah, kidding.
So you're in the bookstore, and you just randomly open a book about cocktails.
Because I think that's because I'm no much category. So maybe like something related to food and drink. Mm-hmm. It's more like the lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So you can easily understand or easily get the image what they are doing and what it looks like. Mm-hmm. So I think like most of people, when you talk about you are a bartender, and they will think, wow, it's a good, very, very cool job. So we will do something like frame, and we make some cocktail with the colorful layer. This is the
It's like a stereotype.
Yeah. So that's why I still think, wow, bartending should be a cool thing.
Mhm.
So that's why I choose
You picked
choose
the
a
book.
book. Yeah. So that's the beginning of the whole story.
And then you went to work in a bar.
Not immediately. At that time, I still have a regular daytime job, and I start learning from a book. So I don't know the bartending skill, the ingredient they use. So I try to follow the instruction of the book. They will show you like the recipe book.
Mhm.
They will say you need to buy this, you need to buy that, and you add like 50 ml, 30 ml, and more, and you just shake it and strain, something like that. I start with like a home bartending.
And how did that go? Did it taste as good as the book made it sound like it should taste?
No, don't just trust the book. Okay.
Yeah. So, did you at some point though you went to work in bars?
I think because if you really want to learn more and know more, you need to let yourself in this environment.
Mhm.
Then you can understand how it works. Not just look the book
Mhm.
and follow the recipe.
Mhm.
So like maybe like 1 year after, I start to join the bistro
Mhm.
and do a part-time job
Mhm.
and in a bistro.
And what did your friends and family say when you told them, I'm developing an interest in this industry and possibly pursuing it as a career, so I'm going to start out with a part-time job? Did they say, Perry, you must be out of your mind?
Yeah. I think for most of my friends, they will really like it, and they will definitely will support me
Mhm.
because they will say yes.
Yeah, free drinks.
Free drink. Yeah. So that's why usually you
Well,
will
that's
encourage.
why I asked you on the show, so I could get some free drinks afterwards.
Okay, and but for my family, I'm very glad. I think I'm very lucky. My parents they support me, even they not talk about much about this.
Mhm.
They trust me. What they care is only about my health.
Mhm.
Okay, so that if you really like it, and just try it and do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But don't drink too much? Is that what they were worried about? Did you ever consider going overseas to study how to mix cocktails, or you were confident you could learn this in Taiwan?
I think nowadays you don't really must have to learn the cocktail making overseas because of the internet.
Mhm.
And because of the big spirit company, they will invite the most famous bartender around the world. So we have lots of chance to communicate with each other. We can share maybe the skill, the know-how, the concept, how they do this. So maybe it's not necessary to go overseas to become a good bartender.
I'm so glad to hear that because traditionally a lot of more creative industries in Taiwan, whether it's arts or food, you always hear about people who go overseas for a few years and then they come back to Taiwan. But it's good to hear that you're so confident that people could learn this in Taiwan nowadays.
Yeah, I think at least now I'm 100% made in Taiwan.
And speaking of being 100% made in Taiwan, you opened Ginspiration, which is a cocktail bar here in Taipei. Tell us about opening your own place.
It's not really on my plan.
Mhm.
Okay, suddenly I visit a bar where is I service now. That on the third floor there is an empty room. I just have an idea come up with my mind. Maybe I can do a studio
Mhm.
right here.
That truly is, you were inspired at that moment. Is that why you call it inspiration?
And that's why I name it Ginspiration, because all inspiration definitely comes from gin. Because when you talk about gin in the history, it's related to something like medicine, cure your health, and that's why like in the Dihua Street, we have many traditional Chinese medicine store, and they sell some grocery like a cinnamon, K-shop bark, and we have a herbal tea shop in a row. So I think yes, this is the place. If I want to open a gym bar, I think this is the right place, not in other area.
Now, once you made that decision, though, what were some of the challenges you faced? For example, was it difficult to do the interior design just the way you wanted it, or was it difficult to find staff? What were some of the big challenges you had in the early days of opening up your own place?
Before I opened Inspiration, my ex job, I had service for the local spirit company. So at that time, I can do a lot of market research, and also I'm already a friend close to many bar owners. So I had studied a lot. So at the beginning, I opened the bar. The most challenge for me is how to open the market, highlight the gin, because not everybody that cares about the spirit you use. Taiwan is a whiskey market, not the cocktail market.
So how did you do that? How did you help the customers? Because look, the drinkers in Taiwan, they're familiar with a lot of different products. They may have certain ones that they like a lot, but they have experience with wines and sake, for example, as you mentioned, whiskeys. They're kind of familiar with these things. So how did you explain to the customers what you were trying to encourage them to drink?
I think the secret is if you
Well, you don't want to give away the secrets.
No, it's okay, for free. I think the most important thing is if you really want to share something with others, you need to make it clear they can easily understand. So I'm not trying to tell you, wow, how is gin made, how many ingredients you need to use. I try to make it more lifestyle. So you don't have to know many about gin. I will tell you, it's like a drinkable perfume. I think most of people they have a related with the perfume. So you just choose. You just trust your nose. You just choose the flavor you like. It's more easy. You don't have to choose A brand without B brand. Because maybe sometimes when you choose the brand, they will present you are more testing people or not. But in the gym market, I think most of people they don't know much about the gym. So it's also a good chance to communicate with our consumer.
But the market competition in
Yes.
Taipei is intense.
Yes.
Right, there's casual bars, there's fancy bars, there's the hotels with very nice bars. Now there's places like Ginspiration. How do you fight the competition? How do you get the customers to come to your place instead of all the other options, or to keep coming back?
I won't say there would be a competition because in private in this industry we are also a good brother and sister, and most of bartender knows each other, so we will recommend each other to our consumer. Okay, but the key point would be you need to have a strong reason why should people come to your place, and that is the main question when I open my bar. So I highlight the topic on gin. So if you search gin bar, I think I will be on the top of the list. So maybe we can attract the people who love gin, and they can spread out. Wow, there is a gin bar in Taipei. Yeah.
And who is that person? Give us a profile of the typical gin drinker in Taipei, someone who comes to Ginspiration and really enjoys drinking gin. What kind of background do they have? What did they used to drink before they started to enjoy gin?
I think just like gin itself, it's quite unlike other spirit, because when you mention other spirit, you need to use specific ingredient, specific making process. Then you can call like a whiskey or like brandy. But in gin, we just have a few rules. First, you need to be a spirit. That means high ABV. And second, you must add the juniper berry, and that's all.
And then you got gin.
Yeah, so that's why you have lots of possibility. So I think as you just asked me, my consumer are totally different. No matter you are the wine drinker, sake drinker, or the whiskey drinker, I always can find out some gin related to your preferred taste.
And give us some examples of some of the cocktail mixes that are popular at Ginspiration.
I think our best sellers will be the gin tonic.
Just a very traditional drink. Nothing different than, right?
Simple, but not that simple. What we do is every season we will introduce a different kind of gin to make a gin tonic menu. So recently we already launched season 8. That means we already introduced at least 64 different gin brands to the market. And we will also have a discount before the 8 p.m. So we want to encourage people like drinking to be a lifestyle, and encourage them to try the different brand that they haven't tried before. So I think the gin tonic is the good way to experience the new gin.
So right now at Ginspiration, there's 64 different gins available.
No, we totally have more than 400.
400. How do you train the staff being familiar with 400 different options?
About half will be my self collection. so maybe I just try to put it on the high shelf,
So the
and
customers
they
won't see
can get it, or they can see it.
Okay, well, we're going to take a short break, and after the break, we'll talk some more about what's popular with the customers and what Prairie is recommending to the customers as we move into the fall months. You're listening to Residence Messenger on Taipei Broadcasting Station. Welcome back to Residence Messenger program on the Taipei Broadcasting Station. Our guest today is Perry Chang from Ginspiration. Perry, before we talk about what's hot, what's popular, what's special in the fall, just a little bit about the virus situation. What did you have to do differently at the bar with the staff or with the interaction with the customers, in March, April of this year when people were worried about the virus?
Yes, I think it's a very hot time for the whole food and beverage industry, but we are lucky we are in Taiwan comparing to other Asian country. We can still operate, but we try to follow the regulation from the government. Like you need to wash your hand with the alcohol, and
not with the gin from the bar.
Yeah, you can use the gin, but I will charge more.
And as you said, fortunately, things weren't as bad here in Taiwan or as in other places. But was there any effect on your ability to import certain products? Was the supply chain disrupted?
Not too serious. But still, a few of the product they would be postponed or delayed during the shipment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And now that here in Taiwan, people are going to bars and restaurants fairly normally.
Yes.
What's special for the fall? Tell us about some drinks that you're working on or you're recommending to the customers.
I think we will because our goal is quite different from a normal cocktail bar. I think we would more like the ambassador of the brand of each gin.
Mhm.
So what we are doing is to let you feel the difference between each brand.
Mhm.
So we will try to make it simple.
Mhm.
So stay with the classic cocktail,
Mhm.
but if you can taste the difference, you will definitely know, wow, that's because of the gin I choose.
Mhm.
So it can be totally different.
And how does a customer do that in one sitting though? Do you give them a sampler set?
Yeah, so I think that if you have chance to visit Inspiration, you must sit at the bar.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like a rock area. Yeah.
Well, because you're there, you're the rock
Yeah.
star. But you said you want to encourage the customers to try some different products. I mean, how do you do that? I mean, of course, you don't want the customers to over drink or drink too much either. So, what's a typical way to in one visit to sample several different brands?
Yeah, the way it is simple. Like you buy the perfume, you smell it,
Mhm.
then you can choose which you prefer. So basically, we will ask you a simple question. Would you prefer something like herb, floral,
Mhm.
fruity, or woody?
Mhm.
Then we will choose like a 2 or 3 brand. Then we will bring the bottle and let you smell it directly.
Mhm.
Then your nose will tell you, oh, I prefer this one better. Then,
Yeah, which is the one that is most popular in Taiwan? You said the fruity, the wood. Which one among those options do Taiwan drinkers seem to prefer?
I think most of the Taiwan drinkers, even foreigners, they will prefer tea.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
Why? Because they're so used to drinking tea?
Maybe, and floral. So recently we made our own gin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tell us about the process to making your own gin from start to when it's ready for the customers to drink.
Because it is for memorial, so it's not a regular product. So we spend like 3 months, and we source in from local and highlight the fresh jasmine flower,
Mhm.
and that's the most important ingredient we use this time.
Where's the jasmine flowers from?
From the like Huatan
Mhm.
in the central of Taiwan.
Mhm. And you went up there and you met the farmers, and or how did you pick the jasmine flowers?
It's a big bag of the fresh flower, so you will look like a Santa Claus.
But did you go up there and pick it yourself?
No. My colleague do that for me.
Mhm.
Appreciate.
Because I'm wondering what the reaction was from the farmer or the person who was growing the flowers when they found out their flowers were going into gin.
Yeah, and we also brand 3 kind of oolong tea
Mhm.
to do our gin.
Mm.
So highlight the tea and floral flavor.
This seems to be a bit of a trend in Taiwan to incorporate tea into ever more products,
Yes.
including alcohol. Well, why now? Why is this happening now that people are discovering that tea could be used in so many different alcohol products?
I think as bartenders in Taiwan, lots of people already tried this before, but because of the government regulation, and now we have the brewery and distillery, they would like to do something new and cooperate with the bartenders.
Mhm.
This is a new opportunity for us.
So the government is encouraging you to make more tea flavored alcohol.
If we say it's for own good for the agriculture of Taiwan, I think they will support because you have a good way to show what we have, no matter it's a food or tea or something else.
Do you think there's a big potential export market for these kinds of Taiwan tea flavored alcohol products?
I really think so. But we need to have a better package and better marketing. I think we can surprise the world.
And one of the activities you're involved in is called the Gin and Tonic Pot.
Yeah.
What is this event about?
It used to be a Gin Tonic Day, but we tried to change the name to Gin Tonic Pot. And pot sounds weird for foreigner, but sounds familiar to Taiwanese.
Right, because it means like a party.
Oh, yeah. It's a short term of the party.
Yeah, of course, for us native English speakers, it sounds like a papa, like dad.
For this event, we want to let the gin and like the drinking habit go to the lifestyle, because in Taiwan actually we don't have much culture about the drinking culture.
So when is this event usually held?
We usually held in April, but so sad because of the COVID-19 we won't host it this year.
Will there be one next year, hopefully?
Yes.
Yeah. And where does it usually take place? Is it at one location, or is it a lot of bars jointly participate?
We trying to do this event in the whole Dadaocheng district. So we will combine with the local shop and also have some booths outdoor. So
just to be sure, you said booths, not booze.
Oh,
right? Booths, not booze. Well, you will be drinking booze because that's a word for alcohol. So it's a chance for people to come and sample different gins at outdoor booths.
Yes, and it's more closely linking to the lifestyle. So not just maybe drinking or testing. You can also experience the whole culture of the Taipei city and something like a food and something like art. So that's why we do the Gin Tonic Pot, not like the exhibition.
And it's not like one of these kind of like beachside music, loud, everyone just getting drunk kind of events, right? It's to be about the lifestyle, as you said, and to learn about the different types of gins.
Yes.
Well, let's hope that there's no virus next spring, and you're able to conduct it again. Do you expect foreign visitors to come to that event usually?
Yes. When doing this event, we hope we can be the largest gin event in the Asia. So like 2 or 3 years ago, we had already invited other gin bar to join this event. Yeah, so we would like if you like the cocktail drinker or the gin lover, you definitely need to visit Taiwan. Enjoy this part.
Speaking of the gin drinkers and the cocktail drinkers, running a bar probably gives you opportunity for some interesting and funny experiences. Tell us something funny that's happened in the bar. A customer asked for a strange drink, or some other interesting, unexpected experience you've had in the bar.
Okay, because I'm not that interesting person. I'm boring one. But one thing I remember is really funny. A girl, she visited my bar, and like 3 years ago, we just opened. At that time, in the whole Taiwan, definitely you can find a gin bar, a real gin bar. And she come back from other country. She said, "Oh, I'm looking for a gin bar for a while." So I use Google So she typed like a 琴酒吧. In Chinese, it's like a gin bar. Then the result come out with like a 钢琴酒吧.
That's
That
a
means
little different.
piano bar.
Yeah, a little different.
Yeah. But I think it's so funny.
But she came to your bar looking for a gin bar, not for the piano bar, right? And what happens nowadays when people do that search?
And nowadays you search a gin bar and you can search yours.
You'll find your inspiration. Now, you've won many awards, like the 2018 La Maison Cointreau Taiwan champion. And you're interviewed a lot, because your bar has been a big success, and you're helping to expand the gin culture, gin drinking culture in Taipei. But do you ever say to yourself, Perry, that I don't want the attention, I just want to enjoy a drink quietly?
I think I can got a good balance because as we first met, I don't like the typical bartender style, right? Yeah. So if you just saw me out the bar and restaurant,
You're just a regular guy.
Yeah.
So as we get into the colder months, give our listeners a few suggestions. What should gin drinkers be thinking about drinking as the weather gets a little bit cooler after it's been so hot the last few months?
Okay, I think why I love gin because the possibility of gin. So maybe when the weather goes more cooler, like hot toddy or like for something like eggnog for Christmas, and we can change the spirit with the gin. Yeah, so we can definitely do something cool for the winter.
And what about once it gets really cold by, say, February? What kind of gins will you be recommending to the customers?
I think if you prefer something more herb, more floral, you can use gin to replace the brown spirit, like the whiskey or brandy, or you can use the both, the brandy with the gin, as some more flavor to your drink to make something like hot toddy. It's easy.
And that'll keep you warm during the winter?
Yeah.
Where can people get more information about gin in Taiwan or ginspiration? What's the best way to find out more?
Honestly, I'm not good at this social media.
Well, because you're a modest guy, and that's why people like you. That's why your bar is popular.
No. But you can follow us on the Facebook and IG. We would like to share more information, anything about gin. And if you have any question about gin, you can send us the message. I will reply you.
You'll personally reply? It won't be some editor or some...
No.
You personally.
I think since not much message, I can do it by myself.
Well, hopefully after this show you will get some more messages. Are reservations required at Ginspiration?
Yes.
Okay, so people need to call you up and make a booking, right? That's recommended because the bar is very popular.
No.
Well, Perry Chang, thank you so much for coming on our show and sharing information about gin. And of course, again, we recommend don't drive if you've been drinking. Drink responsibly, of course. But do try more gins. And as Perry said, you have how many different varieties of gin at Ginspiration?
At least 400.
At least 400. You've been listening to Resonance Messenger program on Taipei Broadcasting Station. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.